Hello and welcome. Today we're going to focus on a powerful set of tools that can greatly enhance your efficiency and effectiveness as a dispatcher. We'll be talking about filters and search techniques. So in this video, we'll explore how to use zones, state-to-state searches, state-to-city searches, and other advanced search methods to find the best loads quickly and effectively. I want you to understand that by mastering these techniques, you will be able to streamline your dispatching workflow, which is very important. You'll be also able to help reduce deadhead miles, which is very important, and ensure that you're always finding the best opportunities for your carriers. So let's dive in and explore how to make the most of these powerful tools. Let's talk about understanding filters. When I say filters, what I mean is origin, deadhead, origin, destination, deadhead, destination, equipment type, load type, length, weight, data range. We also will be filtering using filtering options, load requirements, search back, company, private loads, book or bid loads. So we'll be talking about these because very, very important. Filters are one of the most important tools in dispatcher's arsenal. They allow to narrow down your search results so you're not wasting time. As you know already, the time is money. We need to be very, very quick. If you're a dispatcher, dispatching loads, finding loads, very, very important that we're not wasting time shifting through the loads that don't meet your criteria. So basically, filters, we have basic filters, we have advanced filters. We'll be talking about basic filters at the top, and we'll be also, right after we pull some loads, we'll be talking about advanced filters. Rate per mile and distance. Let's start understanding filters. Filters are one of the most important tools in dispatcher's arsenal, meaning when you log in, you will have these features or options, call them whatever you want. These what I call the tools. Very, very important. Tools inside the tools, let's say that way. Well, they allow you to narrow down your search results so you don't waste time shifting through loads, don't meet your criteria, right? We have hundreds of loads that we don't need them. How we're going to filter them? So I'll be showing you right now. So they're basic filters. Basic filters include origin, deadhead origin, destination, deadhead destination, equipment type, load type, length, weight, and data range. Then, right after we have some loads to see, then we'll start talking about advanced filters. Advanced filters include, for example, rate per mile. Also, we can filter by distance. I'll give you an example. Let's say you have a flatbed available in Houston, Texas, and you wanted to find loads that pay you at least 2.5 cents per mile, and you are within 100 miles of your truck's current location. By setting these filters, you can quickly narrow down your options and focus on the most powerful opportunities that are available to you. I'll give you an example. So as I said, let's say we're looking for a flatbed. It's in Houston, Texas, that are within 100-mile radius. And I'm going to, let's say, anywhere. And again, here's a quick tip. If you wanted to go anywhere around the country, you don't put anything on the destination. So basically not putting any entry here is actually an entry. Why? Because anywhere is actually an entry. Some people just say, hey, don't put anything there. Well, it's actually leaving it empty is an entry. You basically given a command to the load board saying that, hey, I'm in Houston, I'm going to anywhere. So destination is anywhere, and as I said, it's a flatbed. I'm looking for a full or partial load. The length I'm not including, but you can say something like, I have 53 trailer. Weight, most of your carriers, they might say something like, hey, I don't take more than 45,000 pounds. And here's a quick tip for the data range. What I do is basically I select today, and I'm looking into basically the entire week. So let's say the Friday, and let's click search. Now we done the basic filtering. This is the origin, deadhead within 100-mile radius within the Houston area. Destination is basically anywhere. And flatbed, I'm looking for flatbed loads. Load type is full or partial. This is the length, weight, and this is the data range. Now, I want you to point out something very important. You don't see tri-haul no routes. Why? Because we didn't put the destination. So if you wanted to see tri-haul routes, then you need to put at least one destination. And it only works if it's city to city. I'll give you an example. If you, let's say, do from Houston to California, and you can do a search, you can see that it's not available. So if you can come back and let's do Atlanta, Georgia, let's put Atlanta, Georgia, and do search. Now you can see that tri-haul options are available. You click and you see that, okay, if you wanted to make extra $918, then you pick one of these destinations. So very, very important to note that. Now that we have some results, let's do advanced filtering. So we've done the basic filtering. Now it's an advanced filtering. Now you have these options at the top. Remember, we talked about load requirements, search back. We talked about company, private loads, and book or bed option. But before I go there, now you see that from Houston, Texas to Atlanta, Georgia, you have two results. But at the bottom, it basically, the load board says, okay, there's only two loads available, but then similar results we have for you. It's about 12, okay? Now, you can also do search by age, meaning I want to see the newest loads. Let's go back to this first options. The reason why we go there, because I have a lot of results, and basically this is about 5,000 loads that I have here, and then we'll start using these to basically filter, and we'll start sorting by rate the highest. If you click on drop down menu, you will see that, hey, I want to see the newest loads. If you click on this, and you will see that, okay, 0 minutes, 1 minute, 2 minutes, basically these are the newest results. Why you want to see? What's the reason for you to click on this and see new results? Well, because if you have 0 minute, if there is a load posted right now, you must call that load, otherwise it's gone already. So I'll give you an example. If this load sitting for about 3 minutes, most likely it's not a good load, and it's been sitting for hours, maybe days, and it's not a good choice. And you can also, if you click on drop down menu, you can see that I want to see what's the highest rate per mile. Well, I see that there is almost $10 per mile, but hey, this is a step deck load, and listen, it posted by this company, but it's 107,000 pounds. So on the comments section, you can see that these people are looking for stretch step deck. This is a very specialized trailer. So we're focusing on a flatbed, right? So we're looking for the flatbed loads. We scroll down and you can see that here is a flatbed load, but it pays about $2. Now go back and we can do this. Okay, I want to search for shortest. I want to search for longest. So you can also do pickup soonest, latest. You can do company A to Z, company Z to A. You can do weight lightest. You can do heaviest. Credit score, the highest, meaning here, the credit score. If you click on, I'll give you an example. I want to see the credit score the highest. It will basically pull, let's say, brokers that have the highest credit score. And you can see brokers that have the highest credit scores. So let's talk about the advanced filtering at the top. So we can do load requirements. Load requirements, basically, you have three options. Tracking required. Remember, we talked about in the previous videos that some of the brokers, they require tracking. They want to track the shipment or the load. So you can do tracking required because they pay a little bit more, and tracking not required, or you're looking for both. For most of the time, most people select both, but if you're like, hey, I don't need a load that trackable, you can basically tracking not required, and you can click done, and it will refresh. And as you can see, from 4,900 now is down to 4,700. So it's about 200 loads were trackable. So we did that and it removed. As you can see, if we can come back and select both, click done, you can see it's 4,915 loads. So let's go to the second advanced filtering option, which is search back 24 hours. What that means is that you basically telling the load board, hey, I want you to go back 24 hours. I want to see all the loads that are being posted. As you can see at the left side, 14 hours, 16 hours. Some of the loads are 17 hours. What you can do is basically say, hey, I want to see the last 60 minutes, right? Which is 1 hour. And you click done, you will see about 1,500 loads are being posted in the last 1 hour. So up next, let's talk about company. When you click on company, remember on the previous videos, we talked about blocked companies and preferred companies. Well, here now you have an option, show only or exclude. Let's talk about them. Show only has 3 options. 1, show all non-blocked companies. Second, show only preferred companies. Show only blocked companies. Remember, we also talked about manage preferred and blocked list. I'm not going to go do it again, but please, if you didn't watch that video, go back and watch that training. We also select exclude the company name. I'll give you an example, exclude TQL. For example, ABC Logistics, and you can exclude and the load board won't show those people. So if you don't want to work with the TQL, you can definitely type TQL and then exclude, and it will exclude from your search results. Private loads, we'll be talking about private loads in upcoming videos. Well, basically what it says is that, hey, if you select, it will show you only preferred loads. That's basically it. And the next one is book or bid load. And as you can see, bookable loads. Or what you can do is only show bookable loads. If you click on only show bookable loads, click done, and you will see that, hey, there's only bookable loads. What that means is that, remember in the previous videos, that these are the people have their own load boards. For example, Nolan Transportation Group. If you click on book, as you can see, this is the link that basically it takes you to their load board, which called Be On Carrier. Maybe you didn't know about this, but now you know that Nolan Transportation Group has their own load board. This is the information about the load. This is the load number. This is the total miles. Product category, you can see that is a printed material in packaging. This is basically shows you number of stops, and everything is straightforward. Total weight is 41,860. Origin is this. Equipment is a drive-in. Destination, it goes to basically Arizona. Total rate is this. And this section is very important. That basically gives you the information about when it's going to be delivered, appointment time, and special instructions. Guys, special instructions, very, very important. And it says, must have a clean trailer, no holes, cracks, or leaks, and delivered on a Friday in an appointment. Very important. Look at this. TBD stands for to be determined. Since freight is determined by the weight and distance, and is calculated at the time of the shipping. That's basically it. Once you've reviewed all the information, then you can click on book now. But remember, you must be a signed carrier with the broker to actually book their loads. Now you can see that there are a lot of brokers, they have their own load boards. For example, if I can come back and select Global Trends, click on book, and it will basically take me to their load board. There you go. So now you're thinking, wow, I thought there was only a DAT load board or truck stop or 123 load board. Well, hey, there are a lot of brokers. Now they develop their own load board, which is very, very important. Not many people teach this. So here we go. Straight box truck load. Okay. And again, this is basically a quick overview. You need to sign in to look for these loads. And by the way, you see these new results. If you click on view, and you will see that this vertical green line shows you that, see, these loads are being posted at real time. So what that means is that brokers point right now is basically you're seeing them on the real time. They posting a load and you see right in front of you, and you can click and book this load. And again, we're looking for bookable loads right now. Coyote Logistics also posts this load. If you click, remember, And again, it's the same thing. You must have an account with Coyote Logistics so that you can have access to their load board. And so it's a very easy process. You can click on create a new account. And as I said, it basically will be asking questions like where you're located. Are you a part of the Coyote network? I'll give you an example. Let's say I'm from North America. I'm not. Maybe you moved some loads or booked some loads from Coyote Logistics. You can say that, yes, I booked some loads, and again, it will be asking you the information about your company. If you're a carrier, you put MC number, DOT number, what type of equipment you have. I have a flatbed, so I have an MC number, you put MC number. If you're a dispatcher filling out this form on behalf of your carrier, you can definitely do that. And this is the process how you can get your login information so that you can start booking loads from Coyote Logistics. Hope that helps. Basically, this is how you do basic filtering at the top, and these are the advanced filtering options that we have. Now, let's talk about one of the powerful tools that DAT has for their users, which is DAT Zip Zones. Zones are a powerful tool for organizing and filtering your searches by geographical regions. This is particularly useful when you wanted to target specific areas for your loads. Below this video, you'll find the PDF. Please go ahead and open up, and we'll be talking about zip zones. So let's talk about these. So what is zip zone? Zip zones designated broad regions of the country, whereas a standard 5-digit zip code refers to a very specific location. The first number of the zip code indicates a region that encompasses multiple states. There are 10 zip zones in the United States. Zone 0 includes the 7 northeastern states that have zip codes that begin with a 0. Zone 9, on the other hand, includes the 3 West Coast states whose zip codes begin with 9. There are 3 zip zones in Canada and 1 in Mexico. Very important to know, how are zip zones used? Zip zones come in handy when using DAT's load boards. For example, when a carrier posts a truck, he needs to specify where he's willing to go. If a carrier is willing to drive to any state on the East Coast, basically this side of the United States, then you can simply select Z0, Z1, Z2, and Z3, rather than typing in a dozen separate states. Now in this training, I'll be focusing on using zone maps. Then we'll be talking about zone-to-zone searches. And lastly, we'll talk about zone to state searches. Let's talk about using zone maps. Zone maps basically divide the country into specific regions, as we talked about earlier, allowing you to search for loads within those regions. These can be especially helpful when you're looking to minimize deadhead miles by focusing on a particular area. I'll give you a pro tip. Familiarize yourself with the zone map and understand how states are grouped together into zones. Well, this will help you quickly identify high demand regions where your trucks can operate more profitably, or your carriers. Very, very important. As I said, we'll be talking about zone-to-zone searches. This technique involves searching for loads that move between specific zones. For example, you might search for loads moving from the southeast, which is zone 4, to the Midwest, which is zone 3. So another good example will be if you notice that there are a lot of outbound freight from the southeast heading to the Midwest, you can position your truck in zone 4 and set up zone-to-zone searches to find the best paying loads. And again, if you're not familiar with the outbound, inbound, we quickly touched talking about outbound loads. And we also, in the upcoming videos, I'll be doing more training on outbound, inbound training using market conditions tool. So at the top, as you can see, we have zone-to-zone searches, we have state-to-state searches, we have state-to-city searches, and we have city-to-city searches. So on the origin, we have Z0 all the way down to Z7, we're going to Z8, Z9. What I mean by that is, as you can see, from Z0, Z1, Z2, Z3, Z4, Z5, Z6, Z7. Basically, I'm including all of these states instead of typing, for example, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, Alabama, Mississippi, Tennessee, Arkansas, Kentucky, Washington, Virginia, Iowa. You don't do that. You're not typing, you're basically putting numbers. The load board will take your input and the system will know that it should include all of the states. So basically you're moving from this side of the country going to this side of the country, which is Z8 and Z9, and includes all of these states. What an awesome way of searching loads. This basically simplifies your workflow. So pro tip here, don't include commas. You just list your zones and DAT will automatically put commas for you, making your life easier. Now on the equipment tab, you can put drive-in, reefer, whatever the equipment you're looking for. Load type we're looking for, as I said, always full or partial load. Length you can put, for example, I'm looking for 48 and not more than 45,000. And this is the data range, and you click search. These are the options we have. And remember, we did 1 hour, but I highly recommend going back 24 hours. And on the bookable loads, you just uncheck this, and we'll come back, and we'll click done. There you go, search loads. And this is basically how you can use zones to pull loads. Sometimes you may want to search for loads that originate in a specific zone, but deliver to a specific state, right? This is useful when you know you have a strong delivery network in that state. For example, for the flatbed, we have Houston or Dallas or Austin. Basically, Texas is good for flatbed. I'll give you an example. You could search for loads from Z5, which is West Coast, to Texas, ensuring that you're focusing on high demand delivery area that you're well positioned to serve. So let's demonstrate that. Let's put Z5. As you can see, includes all of these, and we're going to Texas. Remember, we're doing zones to state searches. And equipment type, we have flatbed, and again, full or partial. You can leave this empty if you wanted to, but in my case, I'll do 53 and 45,000 or not more than 45,000. Data range we include today and let's say 6th. Search. So these are the results for region Z5 going to Texas, and Z5 includes all of the states. And at the left side, you can see that there are 6 states, and they are here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Z5 includes all of these states. And we're going where? We're going to Texas. So maybe you're confused and maybe you're thinking like, why don't I do Z7? But remember, we did a specific search from these states. We are going to Texas only. But if you do Z7, then it will include Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas, and also Oklahoma. So it's very, very important to note that. Now that we have covered zone to zone searches and zone to a specific state searches, let's talk about state to state searches and state to city searches. Well, state to state and state to city searches allow you to narrow down your search results even further, giving you precise control over your load planning, which is very, very important for carriers and freight dispatchers. Now, you just realize that you're becoming a pro dispatcher. Please take notes. Don't overthink it. Just let sink in. If it's something not clear, please re-watch the video. I know that it's with every video, with every upcoming videos, it will getting more harder and harder. Well, it's actually a good thing that you are learning. You are getting a pro, and know that becoming a pro dispatcher, it's not easy. You need the information, and I'm giving it to you. So let's do state to state searches. Let's go here. And again, you can also click on this plus sign. You can do, let's say from Georgia, you going to, let's say, Texas. Well, this technique is useful when you're targeting a specific lanes between 2 states. For example, if you know that there is a lot of freight moving from, let's say, from Georgia to Texas, you can set up state-to-state search to find these opportunities. And why is so important? I'll give you a pro tip. Use state-to-state searches when you want to focus on high volume lanes where your trucks can constantly find loads. For flatbed from Georgia to Texas, this is a hot lane. There are a lot of flatbed loads are being moved in this particular lane, which is from Georgia to Texas, more specifically from Atlanta, Georgia to Houston, Texas. And again, with the filtering, you already know, you can put, let's put in this case, a reefer, full or partial. You can put, if you wanted to, let's say 48, you can put 48. You can leave this blank and you can click on search and let's see how many loads we have. The reason why I did this way is because I wanted to show you something very important tactic. So see, for only today, there's no loads available from Georgia to Texas. Let's play around. This is for reefers. So without playing with data range and the length, let's just put a different equipment, for example, flatbed, and let's search, let's see what happens. There are no loads for flatbed. Okay, let's play even more. Let's remove 48. Let's search and see if there's some loads more than 48. No loads more than 48. Now, the last thing you want to do is the date range. Let's go and select 6th September and see what happens. There we go. Now you have 12 results to play with. Let's now select reefer and see what's happening. Search and see how many loads we have. Oh wow, now we have even more loads. How cool is that? Now you're learning ins and outs of this load board, which is very, very important. Now let's move to state to city searches. Let's click South Carolina to Houston, Texas. Let's come back here, and again, you can always do new search by clicking new searches. For even more precision is very important using load boards. You can search for loads that move from specific state to a specific city. Please write this down. This is especially useful when you are trying to position your trucks close to a major market or hub. We'll be talking about tri-hub on the upcoming videos. Stay tuned. So, for example, if you have a truck in South Carolina and wanted to deliver in specific market in Houston, Texas, you can set up a state-to-state searches from South Carolina to Houston, Texas, as shown above. As you can see up here, this allows you to target loads that get your truck exactly where it needs to be. Now, here is a pro tip. I want to give you something very, very important that I learned over the years. Not many people talk about this, but check this out. Combining filters with state and city searches are crucial in your day-to-day workflow. What I mean by that, if you wanted to maximize your efficiency, combine filters with state-to-state or state-to-city searches. For example, you could search for a load from Texas to Florida, filtered by rate per mile and pickup date. I'll give you an even more in-depth example. So you have a truck in Texas, and you know that Florida is a high-demand market. By setting up a state-to-state search with filters for rate per mile and pickup date, you can quickly find the most profitable loads that meet your criteria. So in other words, have these open, meaning zone to zone, zone to a state, state-to-state searches, state-to-city searches, and city-to-city searches. And why you want to do this? Because you want to quickly find the most profitable loads that meet your criteria, which is very, very important. And again, to get the most out of your filters and search techniques, here are a few best practices to keep in mind. Number one, regularly update your search criteria. Know that we talked about this. The freight market is dynamic, and what works today or at this moment might not work tomorrow. Regularly review and update your search criteria to ensure that you're always targeting the best opportunities. I'll give you a pro tip here. Set up multiple safe searches with the different criteria so you can quickly switch between them as market conditions change. I'll give you an example. So if you wanted to save this search result, what you can do is come up here. You see these three dots, you click on them, and what you can do, you can save searches. You click Save Searches, you saved it, you can come back to Georgia, meaning state-to-state searches. You can come back up here, and you can click and automatically saved. The next logical question is, how am I going to find those saved searches? You click on plus sign, you see, it's up here. You just quickly search, and it will be automatically searching without putting all the filters up. So best practices number 2, let's say, use multiple search techniques together. We talked about this. Don't rely on just one type of search. Use combination of zone, state, and city searches to cover all of your bases and ensure you're not missing out on any opportunities. For example, if you're running multiple trucks, for example, set up zone-to-zone searches for your long hauls, state-to-state searches for your mid-range runs, and state-to-city searches for last mile deliveries. And always we'll be talking about analyzing your results in upcoming videos when we will start talking about the market conditions and market condition index. Take the time to review the results for your searches and adjust your strategies as needed. Not many dispatchers doing this, and they're missing a lot of money on the table. So if you're constantly seeing low rates in certain lanes, it might be the time to shift your focus to more profitable areas. Pro tip here, keep track of your search results. Over time, you will develop a deeper understanding of the market and be able to anticipate trends before they happen. So in this video, we covered how to use filters and advanced search techniques to find the best loads and maximize your profitability. By mastering these tools, you will be able to streamline your operations, reduce your empty miles, which is very important in trucking, and ensure that you're always securing the most profitable loads for your carriers. So up next, we'll be talking about setting up load alerts. This will be a relatively quick video, but it's very, very important. I'll see you there.